For Halloween, I want to talk about one of my new favorite movies, Dr. Sleep. Dr. Sleep is a 2019 film that was written and directed by Mike Flanagan, who's known for Oculus, Gerald's Game, The Haunting of Hill House, and most recently, The Haunting of Bly Manor. Dr. Sleep is based on Stephen King's novel, Dr. Sleep, which is a sequel to his novel, The Shining. The movie The Shining is considered a horror classic. I like The Shining, but I actually enjoyed Dr. Sleep way more. During quarantine, I've rewatched it so many times and found it very comforting. At times, the film feels like a dream. It succeeds in depicting elaborate concepts and a magical connection between characters, which can be difficult to pull off. It creates a mood that feels lived in. The film continues Danny's story from The Shining as an adult. Side note, Ewan McGregor is almost distractingly attractive in this.
I'm sorry, who are you, handsome?
Anyway, the number one reason why I love this film is because of its female characters who showcase heroism and captivating villainy. I want to gush about why I love them and how they enhance the film. I will focus on 3 characters: Snakebite Andi, Abra, and Rose the Hat. The entire video will include spoilers, so if you haven't seen the film, watch it now. Let's babble about the women of Dr. Sleep.
I want you to remember that time you got bitten by a rattlesnake.
We're introduced to Andi through Crow Daddy and Rose the Hat. Crow Daddy has discovered Andi and her abilities. Andi is able to control people by telling them what she wants them to do. Her wardrobe and age give the impression of innocence, which makes luring people in easier for her. She's using her power to steal from older men who are pedophiles and leaving her trademark snakebite cuts on their cheeks to stop them from trying to do it again. Her decision to join the True Knot is understandable. Rose has pointed out the benefits of being forever youthful, and even at 15, Andi understands the power of staying young, especially as a woman. She views her extended youth and abilities as an ideal way to live. Like many others in the True Knot, Andi loves her abilities. Since the True Knot is already established at the beginning of the film, the audience doesn't know what it's like to join. But through Andi, we see how a new member is selected and what she has to go through in order to be part of the group. It's interesting to see how a new member of the group reacts to preying on unaware children. I think other stories may show some hesitation in a character like this, but Andi's all for it. She's delighted to use her abilities and enjoys showing off. When we first met her, we could view her as a hero vigilante branding pedophiles. But now, she enjoys bringing children to their extremely painful deaths so she can feed on their steam. Even at her death, she takes joy in exhibiting her power.
Kill yourself.
No!
The glee on her face says it all. She's a true villain. Emily Allen Lind, who plays Snakebite Andi, really sells the character with her expressions. Andi's journey gives us a deeper understanding of how the True Knot functions and the group's dynamics. Her turn from vigilante to villain is understandable. Who doesn't want to be forever young? And if you were able to control people, wouldn't you be a little cocky?
Shine on, Abra Stone.
As a very young girl, we see that Abra is proud of her abilities.
I know magic too.
But when she sees her parents' reactions, she realizes that her powers make her odd and an outsider in her home. We are led to believe that she stopped sharing her abilities with her family, and even though her parents are aware of her power, they don't normally address it. Abra is very powerful, which is why Rose the Hat is interested in her.
We have to have her, Crow. We have to. She blew me out of her like I was nothing.
It appears that her powers have isolated her from her family and peers. When she discovers Dan, she's excited to meet another person who shares her abilities. Even after witnessing the murder of the baseball boy, she takes it upon herself to figure out what happened and who was involved. Dan tells her to leave it alone and to bottle up her powers, but she's driven to find the True Knot and stop them from killing another child. In the novel Dr. Sleep, Abra is blonde with blue eyes, but in the film, she's a young black girl played by Kylie Corinne. It's exciting to see a young black girl who was not only a main character, but also a hero. One of my favorite scenes that showcases Kylie Corinne's extraordinary acting as Abra is after she is captured by Crow Daddy. Dan is able to take over her body and kill Crow Daddy. In this scene, Corinne adopts Ewan McGregor's mannerisms and cadence.
Well, it's just arrogance. It's arrogance, really. But it makes sense if you think you're gonna live forever. Stands to reason. Of course you wouldn't wear your seatbelt.
She does an excellent job of embodying McGregor's performance. Without Abra, the world of the movie would have felt closed off. She shows that shining is something that will continue to happen even after Dan is gone. Throughout the film, she shows her cleverness and her heroic nature. She wants to use her abilities to save others and stop the True Knot. We get to see Abra grow from fearful to confident. Together, Dan and Abra are able to bring down the True Knot and Rose the Hat.
Well, well, well. Hi there.
Rose the Hat is fascinating. She's alluring, calculating, and brutal.
Are you gonna hurt me?
Yeah.
Like Snakebite Andi, she's proud of her abilities and is very confident. Even though she's a villain, she still has a heart. She cares for her True Knot family and has not only taken the role of the leader, but also as the provider. Rose and the True Knot need steam from children in order to maintain a long life. You can sense some desperation in Rose because steam is hard to find, and she needs to provide for her family. We also see her fear of death.
You don't know yet what you do for more time.
I promise you, dear. Oh, you'd be surprised.
Rose is striking, which is probably how she became the leader of the True Knot and how she's able to draw children in to get their steam. When Rose sees Snakebite Andi's abilities, she knows that Andi will be an asset to the True Knot. Rose has lived a long life, and like I mentioned earlier, she knows that youth is powerful, and having someone with Andi's abilities will help the group get more steam. Rose's relationship with Abra grows from intrigue to furious hatred.
All right, bitch, child. All right.
Rose has never seen a child with Abra's amount of shine and underestimates Abra's cleverness. By the time all of the True Knot are killed, Rose wants to destroy Abra. What I love about her character is that even when she's angry, she still takes time to be charming.
You must be lonely, being the last one. I mean, the last one in the world.
Sweetie, I'm not the last. Far from it. I'm just the prettiest.
One of the best decisions the film made was Rose's choice of clothing. Obviously, at some point in her life, she grew attached to her top hat and let it become part of her persona. But what I love is that she's adopted modern clothing like leggings and athleisure wear for her everyday look. She's a villain who likes to remain as comfortable as possible, with a little bit of flair. Rebecca Ferguson is so freaking amazing as Rose the Hat. I love her line delivery, especially when she's enraged.
I don't think you should come, Rosie.
The fuck did you just say?
She plays Rose with a bit of a wink to the audience, and you could tell that she's having fun. You may not be rooting for Rose, but you can't help but enjoy watching more of what she does. I believe this is strongly because of Ferguson's performance. Many films struggle to have a compelling villain, but Dr. Sleep won with Rose the Hat. Without the women in Dr. Sleep, the film wouldn't be as entertaining. Obviously, the movie is about Dan, but these characters bring new life to the shining story. Andi and Abra are close in age but follow different paths. In another world, they could have maybe worked together, but Andi went for a long life at the expense of killing innocent children, whereas Abra did whatever she possibly could do to end the True Knot and save future children. Rose found a family in the True Knot and found pleasure in embracing her full abilities, but her desperation to live long led to her being outsmarted, resulting in her downfall. Snakebite Andi, Abra, and Rose the Hat are three well-developed characters with different desires in life. Abra is a brave hero, and Andi and Rose are fleshed out villains that are fun to watch. I will always love watching this movie because it lets these women shine. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to my patrons who helped make this video happen. Please make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell for future Let's Babble About videos. Also, please tell me about your thoughts on Dr. Sleep in the comments section. If you'd like to support future Let's Babble About videos, head over to my Patreon. And if you like TV and movie reviews, please listen to my podcast, Off-Screen Babble, available wherever you listen to podcasts. Special thanks to my Off-Screen Babble co-host and husband, Kyle.